It's spelled S-H-E-A. It's Irish. People often call me Shea, but it's not Shea, it's Shea. And I'm here to do some of my new stuff. I've done loads of stuff under Shea Soul as a featured artist. Make it funky for me, maybe, you know, that kind of housey stuff. But yeah, tonight I'm going to do stuff from my album, just quite excited.
We're here at I Love Live with myself, Fuego, Fuego, I Love Live Birmingham, and I'm here with
Shea. Hi.
Now this is Shea, he's been on the Shea Soul. Now before we continue, I know a lot of people seem to pronounce your name wrong. They call you Shea Soul, things like that. Do you find that annoying?
I don't like the name Shea. I think it's like the most horrible name. So I find it, sometimes people call me Shea. And I'm cool with that because I'm like, okay, that's the right name. But Shea, I just don't like it, so yeah, it's a bit annoying, but you know, it's gonna happen.
Definitely. You know what, I've got one to think of you.
Oh, what?
Because you're known as Shea Soul, people call you Shea. I'm known as Fuego. I have a certain drop from the Shea Soul, and I'm being pronounced as Fuego.
Really? Right, I'll see you another one then.
Yes.
I'll be on it.
But you've just finished your performance at I Love Live Birmingham. How did you find it? How did you find it?
Yeah, it was cool. It was really nice. It's a really nice venue. I really like this place actually.
Okay.
It's really nice. Oh, Velvet as well. What a great name was that. I love that. But yeah, the crowd's really nice and the band are really sweet. It was good.
So how do you find performing in Birmingham compared to performing in London?
I think it's quite similar. It's similar. I think there's more happy faces in Birmingham. I think people in London tend to be a bit more miserable. You know what I mean? It's like they might like it, but they'll just look more. Where Birmingham people will be a bit more smiley.
So do you feel that Birmingham people are more open to your music as opposed to?
Possibly. I think it's just an attitude generally. Like every time I come anywhere that's more north than London, I'm always just like, oh wow, people are so nice. Because like at home, when I'm in London, it's like I'm like, oh, you're so happy. But no, it's like, why can't we just be happy? You know? And like everyone in London's so miserable. And I'm a Londoner, but you know.
So now we're in 2013, what can we expect to hear from Shea Soul? Oh, Shea, sorry. I don't know if it's Shea Soul.
I am both.
Okay, because I know you're coming away from the kind of, most of the tunes that you hear when I've been a funky or house type feel, but now that we're ready to go, I hear that kind of 1950s swing type of soulful. I'm feeling that. I play it a lot on my show as well. But is that the type of vibe which you're going to bring to your future songs?
Yeah, I mean my music that I'm doing now isn't specific. It's not one specific genre. I'm very influenced by jazz and old school sounds, and it's something that I love to sing. But I also get quite bored doing one particular thing. If I had a whole set of the same kind of song, I wouldn't want to keep singing it. So another reason why I've done so many beats and different tracks because I like variety. So they've all got that kind of influence in, with especially vocally, but musically they change and vary quite a bit.
Okay. So are you doing any more future collaborations with
I hope so, yeah. I mean, most of the stuff I've done on this particular album is with Drew Hawley, my producer, and I've been producer TMS and a few others, but I do want to get some vocals going in. I'm going to have to try some like remix of vocals, and I've been chatting to a few singers, but just have so much space because I want to get it all confirmed before
So you can't get those exclusives?
No, just wait and see. I'll let you know though.
Okay. And also with Where Did You Go? I was just on Twitter one day, I see another DJ from another radio station wrote mention, and then I see Shea, Where Did You Go Funky Steps remix, and I was thinking, okay, so where's my copy? And then I got it there and I played it. Brilliant. Because one thing which I find when songs are remixed, especially R&B songs, they tend to give it that chipmunk feel, and it's too fast, it doesn't sound right, but it blends perfectly. Like, how did that come about with working with funky?
Do you know what? I mean, obviously from like the whole funky scene, I've met a few times, etc. And it's actually suggested by my manager, how do you feel? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. But I love it because so many times when you get something remixed, you don't know what it's going to sound like, and you're just like expecting anything. And when I heard it, I was actually bubbling, and like I even play it, and I don't play myself, but I really play it and get down. Like when it comes to the radio, when I've heard it, I'm like, I think it's brilliant. I've told them I love it.
And this is Shea. We are I Love Live Birmingham. Now, can you tell the viewers where they can keep up to date with your Twitter, your website, where they can find your singles on iTunes?
Yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is go to iamshea.com, which has links to my Twitter, which is @Shea Soul, and my Facebook, official Shea Soul, Instagram, Shea Soul. What you need to remember is Shea, S-H-E-A. And yeah, iamshea.com, that's the best way because everything's there.
Okay, we've now come to the end of I Love Live Birmingham with myself, Fuego, Smooth Fuego, and I'm here with Sacha Brooks.
Hey!
Now, how did you find the event? How did you think that it went?
Well, I mean, it's been the second one that we've had in Birmingham, and seriously, the atmosphere, the vibe, the people. I mean, this is just what the artists in Birmingham they need. They've been so hungry for it, and you know, as you can tell from the performances tonight, we've had quite a few Brummies, we had someone from Leicester, someone from Wolverhampton, someone from London. So it's so beautiful, the fusion of like all the different regions and everybody coming together and just loving and appreciating the music. And, you know, we had like a 14-year-old girl who came on and just blew the crowd away, and then on the flip side of that, you had like an uber-conscious artist like Logic, who just come on, and I think he just literally blew everybody away with the lyrics that he had. To be honest, excuse me, close the door, please. And then, you know, obviously, I've just had such a great time, and I just love to see, you know, let me tell you right now, Birmingham is one of the most beautiful cities in this country, and tonight we had all of the beautiful people in the building. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing.
I was feeling the banter, I was feeling your energy there on stage. I was in tears for happy. It was funny the way you called out people like Smash. People like, what was the cipher calling himself? Funky Grime Collective something.
Hardcore trap, grime, something.
How do you remember that?
I didn't remember it. I had to keep looking at the piece of paper. And I mean, obviously, I've known Audley since he was like, you know, since he was a kid. You know, I've known him since he was a kid, and I mean, even just to see him on stage. He did the open mic session at the last event, and you know, each time he does it, he just gets better, and he just gets, you know, the crowd more involved. And the open mic session tonight was just amazing. It was beautiful.
At least he didn't get attacked like last time.
Well, yeah, I mean, last time, man, I had this guy who didn't want to come off stage, had his 60 seconds, you know, a minute and a half later, he's still talking to the crowd, trying to build him up. I had to come and take the microphone off him, and I was scared. But I mean, you know, that's what happens doing like events like this. You don't know who you're going to get on stage with an open mic session. You'll get someone who's not professional, and then you'll get someone who is professional, and it's amazing. Like Emma Parks was tonight. I mean, she was the first person to go on stage for the open mic session, and she just blew everybody away to the point that after 12 people performing, they all remembered Emma. So that says something for her, and you know, I think the fact that they, you know, the up and coming artists, they get to see, you know, the semi-professionals on stage doing their thing. There's no attitude. They're just professional, and I think it's good that they get to see that, because then when they get their moment on stage, they know how to carry on. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I've loved everything. I'm so tired. You know, because you just kind of have the energy coming out, and you know, I'm up on stage and I'm getting hot. It's not even hot downstairs, and Sacha Brooks is sweating. But yeah, I can't wait for the next one.
So where can you see I Love Live going? Do you think it's good that Birmingham finally has this outlet for all of our acts? We've got so many artists and things like that, and in some ways, even on radio, even in clubs, things like that, Birmingham artists' songs are getting played more in London than here. But do you think this will change that?
Well, I mean, the beauty about I Love Live is that obviously, like with the London one, back in, you know, over the time they've had people like Tiny Tempo on stage, Ed Sheeran, Katy B, all the UK artists and stars that are hot now have been on the I Love Live stage. So, I mean, this is the beginning of something very beautiful, and especially for Birmingham, because like you said, I mean, we don't really have the outlets in Birmingham to kind of play the music. They've got the better pirate stations and One Extra and Choice and all those stations. They are all in London. What I have noticed though is that, you know, a lot of our Birmingham artists, they have to go to London to take it to that next level. But with an event like I Love Live, they're not going to forget Birmingham, and Birmingham's not going to forget them, because they've been doing their scene and got the hype and everything. Then they have to go to London for maybe a year or so, but then we get to bring them back to perform I Love Live, and you know, everyone just goes crazy because we all know who they are. We know what they've been up to, what they're doing London. Like, I mean, Roxanne, we had Roxanne at the first one. You know, the girl, she has to move to London to do her thing. But the minute she goes back to Birmingham, everybody just went crazy. Because that's how much love that we have for our artists. And we know that we have to let them go at some point so that they can develop themselves and move on to the next step. But the beautiful thing about it is, like I said, is that we get a chance for our artists to come back and show them appreciation and show them some love and just see how they've developed, you know what I mean? So I think it's a great thing for a great city. Beautiful people!
That has been Sacha Brooks. This is I Love Live Birmingham. Would you like to tell the people your Twitter where they can catch you when you run Capital?
Yeah, I mean, don't worry about Capital. Okay. Don't worry about the radio, that's just a day job. It's Sacha, it's Sacha Brooks, S-A-C-H-A, because you've got to, be specific with the spelling on Twitter. So it's Sacha, S-A-C-H-A, Brooks without an E, and if you want to follow me, that'd be great. If you don't, I don't really care. I'm happy. I love